Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Music City Prep Clinic, Nashville-based provider for PrEP, and offering comprehensive sexual health services in an environment designed to be safe, professional, and shame-free. Learn more at musiccityprep.org.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. We are all in on Middle Tennessee twins today. It's an episode dedicated to the 0.3% of the global population who are identical twins. We're going to start at the beginning, taking you back to science class. Identical twins develop when a single fertilized egg splits into two identical embryos. We really don't fully understand what causes this seemingly spontaneous division. And while genetic factors can increase the likelihood for pregnancy of fraternal twins in a family, identical twins don't seem to be hereditary. Some fun facts. Yes, they share the same DNA, but they don't have the same fingerprint or belly buttons. I'm not sure how meaningful that is, but and we won't ask anyone to show us today. And as we will see on the show today, they may share similarities, but personalities still very much an individual thing. So if you're thinking, I kind of wish this wasn't just an episode on the radio or in my podcast feed. Well, we thought the same thing. And so we are streaming on WPLN's YouTube channel right now. All right. Well, it's coming up shortly. So you can, and you didn't hear that, but not yet is what my producer tells me in the ear. So a few tech issues, but we will be streaming on WPLN's YouTube channel this hour. Feel free to switch over when it's time and at least say hi in the comments while you're there. Okay. So kicking us off, I'm going to say one of the most famous sets of twins in Nolensville, Tennessee, and they are Matt and Kyle Neal. They're both sergeants in the Nolensville Police Department, which I think makes them pretty famous. Welcome to This Is Nashville.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you don't just look the same. You also have similar voices. So would you identify yourselves for listeners just so they can maybe have a hope of telling you apart on the radio?
Yeah, my name's Matt. Yeah.
My name's Kyle. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a good time.
All right, Matt and Kyle, we'll do our best. So, I'm wondering, do you know another set of twins in the law enforcement realm?
Oh, no. We're the only ones that I know of.
Really?
Even in Ohio, where we came from. I don't know of any in Ohio or Tennessee.
Well, I feel like it would get around, and you'd probably learn of another set of twins. I mean, I'm sure there are twins who are police officers, but on the same department. I don't know. Do you don't work the same shift? Is that right?
Yeah, we don't. We're both night shift though, and we love night shift. But we both recently got promoted to sergeant. So when that happens, you kind of got to go where the opening is. So we both work nights, opposite rotation. So actually, the last year I've never really seen him.
Well, I'm glad you all could. All right. Does this mean if you're working night shift that we're talking right now at noon when you should be sleeping?
Oh yeah, I got off work at 5 a.m. But I'm glad to be here. It's a fun time.
5 a.m. and then any sleep, or you just
I
working?
slept for about 4.5 hours. Yeah.
What?
And honestly, I have a 2- and a 1-year-old at home, so I get 4 hours of sleep anyway.
About the same.
So this is like a routine for me at this point.
Well, you got promoted together. I mean, we're obviously going to talk quite a bit here about what all you all have done together. But I mean, did they feel like they had to promote you at the same time?
No, I don't think so. And we didn't get promoted at the same time.
Okay.
I got promoted September of last year. And you have to go through a whole process. You have to, they're not just going to promote me and then be like, well, he looks like me, so you're next. So, you just got to go through the process. And I think he got promoted a couple months after me.
Well, so Matt, why don't you explain, how did you guys end up in the same town doing the same job, with the same rank? I mean, was this a joint decision to get in law enforcement from the beginning?
Yeah, I think it kind of started in high school. I think we decided the career path that we were going to go down. But we're originally from Ohio. We're not from the Nashville area. So he originally moved here, about 5 years ago?
7.
Or 7 years. It's already been 7 years.
Yeah.
And then I moved here. I've been here 2.5 years. So I kind of followed him down here. Originally, I didn't have any plans to come down here. I wanted to stay up in Ohio, but then I came down, did a ride along with him, and then kind of just got talked into it. And I've loved it. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made is moving down here.
Well, Kyle, walk me back through how you all got into policing. I mean, was that where you were headed, straight from school?
Yeah, so we have pictures of us that I've seen of us at like 4 years old in police cars. I don't know if that swayed us in any way, But I floated some ideas around. Like I said, I wanted to do the broadcasting at one point. Went to college, and then it just kind of happened. You make good money, and we went through the academy at 20 years old. So we were pretty well paid at 20 years old. And I think, and just I've always thought it was very respectable, and just to help people. It just kind of happened so naturally. It's kind of hard to explain. And we both did it. Both went through the same academy, sat right next to each other. To my knowledge, I think we're the only identical twins that have ever went through that academy too.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, did it bring you notoriety all the way through? I'd imagine so. At the academy, at your first police department, at Nolensville Police Department?
Honestly, going back to like middle school, we've been known. We get notoriety from being twins.
It's not something we earned, but we still get the notoriety.
Yeah,
so
we didn't earn it.
Yeah.
We were just born this way.
We were just born this way.
But yeah, and then going, I can specifically Nolensville, they like me here. I do a great job. So when I was like, hey, I got somebody that's similar to me, they're like, bring him on.
Best recommendation you can get is from your twin brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't thought of it that. I mean, so you all were apart for a time. Mm-hmm. Walk me through that. I mean, was that the only time you all had been apart when you worked for different police departments?
Yeah, we spent some time apart. He went to college. I stayed at home and went to college, and then he moved to Nashville, and I was still in Ohio. And looking back, I mean, it was fine. We talk on the phone all the time, and we talk on the phone almost every other day. Even back then, we were still talking on the phone like every other day. So it was a little different, but we're very independent in our own way. Although it may not seem like it on the surface, where now we work together and all these kind of things, we are very similar. We do have our own separate, lives, and we're very independent in that way, where it wasn't a huge deal when he left.
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, don't leave. He's been supportive. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to make you feel bad for leaving me. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you're just joining us, this is Nashville. I'm Blake Farmer, and we're talking twins today. And with me right now, we're talking to Matt and Kyle Neal, sergeants on the Nolensville Police Department. So I've been told this is actually a bigger deal than the singletons among us would realize. But who is the older twin?
So, Matt, I am. And it's interesting. I never heard the term singleton until I talked with you guys.
Well,
so this must be going around the radio station.
No, we see what we do before a show is you basically cram. Like you've got a test the next day. You learn a lot of stuff so you can sound smart here on the radio, and then move on to the next show. So singleton's a word I'll use today, but maybe never again.
It sounds smart, so that's
doesn't
great. It works,
doesn't it? Well, so Matt, you're the older twin.
I am.
Does that make any difference?
I don't know from his perspective. I think it did a little bit. The older twin kind of goes through a little bit of the rocky waters first, and the younger ones tend to learn about it. Although, I mean, it is 45 minutes. I would argue there is a bit of a hierarchy. He may not agree with that. I am the boss.
Yeah, I absolutely don't agree with that. That's, yeah.
No,
Wait,
I mean,
but when the rocky water thing, are you saying like actually on in your life that tends to happen, that the older twin, even if by just a few minutes, more often, I don't know. Explain what you mean.
I think the parents would treat you a little different growing up. It's not anything super insane though. I know the oldest child in normal families where you're not identical twins, the oldest child does tend to kind of hit the waters first because the younger ones will follow and be like, okay, he went right, I'm going to go left. I don't like that way. And I think that kind of happens in families overall. So maybe it did happen a little bit with ours.
Yeah,
but
you could ask my mom. She probably have her call in.
Yeah.
But no,
we do have a mom on the show later in the hour, but
Awesome.
it's not your mom.
It's not my mom.
And she would love to be here.
She might know that answer to that if you ask her later.
And it's not even a call-in show. We could have had her ring in. Well, so it sounds like growing up, she did the natural twin mom thing, which was dress you guys the same, lean heavy into the twin. What was this like? What was she? Were you in police officer uniforms at the same time as little kids?
Yeah, I mean, we were. Looking back though, it's crazy because it's just it's normal,
right?
But she did dress us very similar. I don't know if this is true, but I think it is. I wore red, you wore blue, but kind of the same outfits. Like my polo would be red, his would be blue.
Yeah, for Halloween, I was the blue Power Ranger, you're the red one.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mom. I know you're going to hear this later.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But, I mean, she gave us the rat tail thing back in the 90s, that was popular. We both run around with rat tails, those kind of things. I'm sure you remember.
I do remember the rat tail. The word popular didn't come to mind, but they were.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know how outside
Maybe
of
not
Dayton,
flex that.
Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, no, it was a style. It was a style,
for sure.
and it
She
was
loved it.
It was a style choice your mom made, and God bless her for raising these twins right here. So, you must get mistaken for each other when you were growing up. How would you handle that?
Yeah, it was pretty common. I think now, if we get mistaken, it's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
But it does, it's you almost are two. Both of you are one person at times, which you kind of just have to roll with it. It's never going to change. You're just born this way. But yeah, we're kind of always the twins, so.
But we play into it too, because we're on a radio show right now because we're twins. Yeah. So we play into it. You play
it's
with
not
what
like
God
I'm
gives you.
complaining.
Know? But yeah, we get, we've been, our names messed up our entire lives. It doesn't even bother me anymore. Sometimes I'll even play into it to, just joke around. All right, I'm Kyle today. You call me Kyle, just say, yeah.
Well, I ran into a twin. I didn't know the brother of this twin had a twin, which is crazy. I didn't know it. But I was at a conference. I was like, oh, hey, Mitch, I didn't know you'd be here. I didn't say his name. Must not have said his name because he didn't respond like that. And he's sort of staring at me like he might know me or something. I think this is... Anyway, you all must have times where someone thinks that they know you, and you're like, no, you're talking about my brother.
Absolutely. And especially with our jobs now. I mean, it's...
It happens all the time.
I'll have tow truck drivers be like, man, that crashed the other day. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking. I was off that day. So,
or we go to a house call. Oh, yeah, thanks for coming here the other day. Or, you did such a good job. And I just say, oh, thank you. And I know it's probably him, but the citizens will, they don't need to know. It's fine. Yeah. They just see one of us there.
So you don't even explain. I have a twin brother.
No, because explaining it after 33 years, it's just kind of like, all right. It gets kind of tiring after a while.
I know I do a good job at work. I know he does a good job. So if we get mistaken, it's not like,
Now, if it's bad, I'll throw him under the bus for sure.
Yeah.
I can understand. Now, have you considered, I'm looking at the two of you, and, you both even have kind of the same beard, like you're not helping people out. Somebody could go with the mustache is popular right now. I know we wouldn't have said that years ago.
If we were firemen, maybe we'd get the mustache.
Well, but you do, and I don't know if they show in your uniform, but you both have very prominent tattoos. One on the left arm, one on the right arm. Is this a conscious choice? Really?
Yeah.
Explain.
It was more on him because I was going to go left arm, and then he's like, "No, just go right arm. Throw him a bone a little bit."
So basically, I've had tattoos for about 5-6 years now, and he was thinking about getting a sleeve, and I was like, all right, we're going to help people out a little bit, and you're going to go right. And in photos, you got to think, when if we're taking a photo, I want my left arm visible, he wants his right arm.
Because if you embrace on the other side.
Yeah. If you're paying all this money, you want to show it.
But that's his credit. I wasn't thinking any of that.
Yeah.
I was just going to
I actually helped people. Yeah. I was like, you're going right arm this time.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is Nashville. I'm Blake Farmer, and you are hearing two different people on the air, and they may not think they sound the same, but Matt and Kyle Neal, both sergeants in the Nolensville Police Department, certainly do to our listeners' ears. So, it's one thing to be mistaken for the other purpose, whether the other person, whether it's on purpose or not, but it's another thing to be compared to each other. How do you all handle that? The smart one, the strong one, the funny one, how do you handle this?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Okay. We've been compared our whole lives. It's just something that people do it innocently. They'll say, oh, which one's the better cop? Which one's the stronger cop? Which one's the faster twin? Which one does this? And it's just, it's done innocently, but sometimes it can be an annoyance for twins. And I think people need to maybe know that a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're constantly compared to a sibling, sometimes it can create competitive rivalries and everything.
You're getting some thumbs up from the next twins who are in the studio.
Yeah.
They get it.
So
they get it.
But at the end of the day, it's done in a naive way, an innocent way, where you just see two humans, and it's kind of weird seeing us when we get it.
Right.
So you instantly look. You've probably done it. What's the differences? You looked at our tattoos.
Right.
You looked at our shirts, probably our beards.
Yeah.
And it's done innocently, so I don't take offense to it, and I don't think you.
Also, to add to that, I think there is a positive aspect of that because there's competition where you don't really want to be like the dumb twin. So you're both kind of like it makes you better in some ways
builds
too.
you up.
Or Or if I'm bad at my job and he was good, which this, I'm great at my job, but I wouldn't allow that kind of. So there's competition there that is really good.
It kind of, I think, I've never really thought of it like that, but I guess it kind of holds you accountable. In a way.
Absolutely.
Has it ever had the negative side where it's like, oh, this kind of that created some friction between us?
No, I don't.
Somebody
think so.
makes the team, somebody doesn't. Y'all
No,
play
'cause
sports
we've-
together, didn't you?
Yeah, we've always made the team.
We've always had our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
he was a pitcher in baseball. I was a catcher.
That works out well.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we've always had differences, but we've never had it to where it messed with our relationship at all in any way.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Well, how has your relationship evolved? Obviously, as siblings, we, most of us grow a little bit apart from a sibling, but it doesn't sound like you guys have one bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we. I mean, like I said, we call each other all the time. Even when I was moving away, we called each other. Our relationship is really good. Even when we were getting out of the academy and we were looking for jobs, it's like, oh, you got on there, so get me on there.
Yeah.
And we would just kind of use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
But,
you always look out for each other, and I think our relationship at times, when you're in different phases of life, it's just maybe sometimes we won't talk as much. For like when he moved down to Nashville, all right, we didn't talk as much, but eventually you kind of stay near each other. I mean, at the end of the day, the one person who you're probably going to die with, other than your spouse, is going to be your identical twin brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the way it is. So,
What would you want other people to know about how to approach you, or I mean, you talked a little bit about the sort of comparisons, like, hey, you may think that it's interesting to say who's the strong one, who's the smart one, that sort of thing. But any other help for those of us? I'll use the word again, the singletons. That on how to approach that might be less annoying to the identical twins among us.
No, not really. I mean, maybe just be cognizant of the comparisons and just use your eyes. It's very easy. Like at work and stuff, it's like just use your eyes. I mean, let's look at us. We do have differences. If you have really cared, you can pay attention. But again, we don't really care. I mean, people are just people, and that's what's going to happen. We've dealt with it our whole life. We're going to deal with it, and like we tend to always look like each other in some form or fashion.
Yeah, can't blame them. And to be mistaken for one of the people you love most in the world, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Absolutely.
If I really cared, I would just shave my beard and then it'd be super blatant in the face.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
People talk about having a special bond, almost like knowing the thoughts of the other. Is that something you all feel much of, that a connection that's beyond just a human to human, sibling relationship?
I would like to be cool and say yeah, but I mean, we're just very close, probably closer than maybe your average sibling at times, but I can't read his mind. It'd be cool if I could.
Yeah, we get asked all the time the two questions: can you read each other's mind, and can you feel each other's pain? And I know it's crazy, but we cannot.
Well,
I wonder if they can.
I think we may learn something in the B segment coming up that there are those among us. All right, so anything especially challenging though about being a twin that we just don't have to bear if we don't have a twin?
Yeah, a challenge, I get. You're always considered the twins because most people don't know more than a couple, maybe one or two sets of identical twins. So it's like, oh, you're the twin. So there is like a lack of individual identity at times, but I don't know if that really bothers me too much. That's kind of something different from like if you're not a twin. That's a big difference.
The biggest challenge for me was just growing up. We shared everything, so I'd walk in and he'd have my shirt on, and I'd get mad.
Yeah, and that's not really.
Maybe
that
I want to
big.
impress a girl in high school, and he's got my favorite shirt on, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's probably it. There really is more pros than cons. So
Well, and now if you are missing your badge, well, actually, you probably can't share a badge, can you? It's unique to you.
Yeah, it's unique. It's got
It's got your number on it.
yeah.
Well, this has been a sheer delight. Thank you to Sergeant Matt Neal and Sergeant Kyle Neal, who both work on the overnight shift, and one of them did last night and are still up with us on the show today in the Nolensville Police Department. Thank you for being here on This Is Nashville.
Thank
Yeah,
you
of
so
course.
much.
It was great. Yeah.
Thank you so
appreciate
much for
guys.
having us. This was a great time.
We have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll speak with two high schoolers about their experience of being identical twins. And I think that we are live up on YouTube streaming today. So the WPLN YouTube site, you can stream with us. So flip over if you like. Either way, stay with us on This Is Nashville.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Music City Prep Clinic, Nashville-based provider for PrEP and offering comprehensive sexual health services in an environment designed to be safe, professional, and shame-free. Learn more at musiccityprep.org.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. Welcome back to our twin episode. We are seeing double in the studio today. I know it's cliche, but you can join us visually, and this is why I say this. We are streaming on YouTube today. We're kind of working through some technical difficulties. Hey, it's a first time streaming video, okay? The volume, I think, is a little low. We'll work it out over time, but if you're watching, you may have to turn the volume up. Also, be sure to say hello in the comments, and so we'll know you're there streaming along with us. We're talking about identical twins here in Middle Tennessee, and joining us now are 17-year-olds Kenzie and Kyndall. They're Nashville natives, enjoying their summer break before starting their senior year in a few weeks. Welcome to This Is Nashville.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
All right, so let's do the same thing. I did to say your name so we know who's talking.
I'm Kyndall, and I'm Kenzie.
Yeah, so good luck, listeners. But when you're introducing yourselves together in a group, is there a way that you all differentiate yourselves to like, oh, you know, I'm the one who.
So we wear our necklaces, and this is like the biggest like way that people's eyes go to our necklaces to tell us apart.
Kenzie's wearing a necklace that says Mackenzie, and Kyndall has a necklace on also. That's helpful. How long have you been doing that?
We've had this. I have this necklace since like 7th grade. Yeah, since middle school.
So it wasn't just for today. Why do you feel the need to do that? Is it because you actually? I mean, I can imagine you might feel bad for people like getting your name wrong. You're like, I know it's hard, but
Honestly, I just really like my necklace. I just like the style of it, but it does really help. People do, their eyes just draw to it. So yeah, it's like a name tag.
Well, do you think most people can tell just by looking at you who it is, or do they have to really spend some time with you to get to know your personality? You're Kyndall.
Yeah, something I noticed is that the people who've known us for a while, they can really differentiate our looks and they can tell. They don't have to look at our necklaces. But people who are new, like newly learning that we're twins and just met us for the first time, they rely on our necklaces very
So like first day of school, you're in a new, I imagine people probably at your school know you now, but that person, how long do you give them before you're like, no, I am Kenzie, don't call me Kyndall again?
Honestly, I give people like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks, kind of specific. No, I give them like a school year.
A whole school year?
Yeah, because it's hard for a lot of people. But we normally have different hairstyles that help people as well. So I feel like we look similar, but I feel like we have our key differences as well.
All right, what are those hairstyles? I don't want to be the one describing them.
So like right now, Kenzie, she has braids and I have my hair natural. And usually Kenzie will have braids a lot more than I will. That will help. If I do have braids, I'll have like color in them and she'll have like all black.
Yeah. So what do you all get? What does set you apart in the friend group? This is how Kyndall is. Oh, this is how Kenzie is.
So a lot of people would say that Kyndall's more like loud or more outgoing than me. I'm more like quieter. We're still both extroverted and loud, but she's like way more louder than me.
Is that how it goes? Okay.
That's what some people say.
Does this seem fair, Kyndall?
Yeah.
All right.
To be honest, I am pretty like social.
So how do you think that you are alike? What is it that you all do that is, really so similar that it's kind of crazy that you both do it?
You want to do it? So we honestly have like the same routine. We'll get up around the same time. In school, we take almost the same classes. We're not in the same classes, but we take the same classes.
Yeah.
Like this year we had like 3 classes together, actually. And then we also have like the same, like we do track together, we do theater together.
Theater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has that presented opportunities that other people who don't have a twin might be able to do, like playing for each other? I guess you certainly have someone who could fill in if needed.
Yeah. There was this one scene last year that there was only one spot of somebody who could do it. And I know Kenzie wanted to do it really badly, but also I wanted to do it really badly. And I don't remember like what happened, but I ended up being in that spot. And I remember like each show night we would just switch places so that we both could do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing that even as you're growing up through high school, you find ways that you rely on each other. How would you explain that? Do you all rely on each other in any special way?
In school, I really rely on her in science and math. Those are my weaknesses, and she gets it faster than I do, especially math. So I'll like rely on her for help in those classes for sure. Mm-hmm. And we rely on each other for like our style or something. So if I want to know if this outfit how it will look on me, I'll just like look on her, and we can kind of tell. And so yeah.
So you all have another sibling.
Yes.
But this sibling has no twin. Well, does this make you sad for your older sister, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, like what makes her life different than yours? Is it become obvious?
I will say, I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really like realize, that she doesn't like have that connection with anybody else. But as we gotten older, it's just like, I feel like we all still get along really well, but she won't have like the connection that me and Kyndall have.
So even somebody like that, as close as a sister, can a sister of twins understand what it is like to be a twin?
I think she can. All the interactions that we'll have while she's there, it's like I think she understands.
Yeah, well, I would hope so over the time. Yeah, so tell me about this. Yeah, y'all are together all the time. It sounds like you've got the same classes. You do the same after school programs. You're in track. You're in theater. Do you need time apart though?
Yes, I think after a long day of being together, we'll like go our separate ways, but in the house. So like she'll go to the room and I'll go in the living room and just chill.
When you say
separately.
the room, it's because you share a room.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you have to call, I'm going to take the room for a little bit, or you just know it's time, we need some...
It's more like it's time, we'll just separate from here. Yeah.
Help us with etiquette. When people see you and they're not sure who's who, and you don't have your necklaces on that day, what should they do?
I say take a wild guess.
Really?
Yeah. I'm honestly fine with people guessing. It does get to a point. And I would at least like they're trying. There are people who don't try to tell us apart, and they will know us for like a long, long time. And they're just like, well, whoever you are, I'd rather them try to guess.
I like it. If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville. I'm your host, Blake Farmer. Today's episode's all about twins in Middle Tennessee. We're talking to Kenzie and Kyndall, identical twins, going to be seniors in high school in just a few weeks. Senior year, there's a future ahead of you. Have you all decided kind of the next step? Is it going to be a step you take together?
So we are still deciding, and honestly, I'm really not sure. One thing is, I'm leaning worse to cosmetology school instead of college.
This is Kyndall talking.
Yes, this is Kyndall talking. And I know Kenzie's leaning towards college. So if we do go to those paths, we will separate unless I decide to go to college.
Do you feel like you're supposed to do the same thing? You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I think it depends on the situation.
We did just have 2 police officers from the same police force in here. We're 33.
Yes, I think it depends on the situation. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like we should do the same thing, but I know that we have our choices. You know what I mean? I feel like when it comes to career-wise, we should kind of go which one we want to go to more, like separate, but we have the same interests. You know what I mean? So.
Well, it's understandable. Well, here at Nashville Public Radio, we have an identical twin. In fact, they're in the This Is Nashville family. Liv Lombardi, our board operator extraordinaire, also has an identical twin who's not in the studio, Ari, who lives in Portland. And we asked them both a few questions about their experience as twins and what it's like to live far apart from each other. Let's take a listen.
Hi, I'm Ari.
Hi, my name is Liv.
I live in Portland.
I live in Nashville.
And my identical twin is Liv.
My identical twin is Ari.
I think we're really similar in the way that we look, our mannerisms.
Oh, that's kind of hard. We're really similar because
how we sound. That kind of stuff is kind of uncanny with us.
Out of the two of us,
I would say that I'm more direct and less into maybe some of the charm that Liv has.
I wouldn't say I'm more outgoing, but I think I'm a little more open when I first meet people and a little less intense in some ways.
Being a twin is a blessing and truly a gift.
Being a twin is the best thing in the whole world. It's my favorite part of life.
Living in a different city than Liv is definitely hard.
It's challenging.
It's disorienting.
It's kind of become the normal.
Especially after we see each other and then we go back to living in different places. It's, oh, well, what's the point now of Liv's not here?
I miss Ari most all the time. It's hard to quantify that.
Because that's kind of a philosophical question of like, what is the most of something? And my missing for Liv just is a thing that exists.
I miss Ari most when I'm doing something really exciting or I'm doing something that brings me great joy. I wish that they were there.
When I'm having new experiences and when I am not having new experiences, I wish that Liv was with me.
I miss Ari most when I'm playing music. I miss Ari most when I'm cooking a great meal that I know that they would love. I miss Ari most all the time.
Since we moved to different places, I feel like our connection and our relationship has definitely changed.
It's really changed a lot, how we communicate.
That we just individuated, and so our lives are separate now. Our values are different because of the life experiences we've had. And
it's also, I think, expanded my worldview in a sense, because Ari lived in Asia. It like enabled me to see the world differently because they were seeing the world so much differently.
I think that it's also interesting that we get to know each other in new ways.
I think in the future we will continue to live apart.
We will continue to live apart for a little bit.
But hopefully closer.
And then after that, who knows?
I have hope for the future that we might live at least a couple-hour drive from each other.
I would tell any twin who's thinking about moving away from their twin,
do it.
Live your life. Talk to your twin about it.
But know that you'll always feel them with you.
Figure out what communication methods are going to work for you. And
depending on your relationship, it can be really hard.
Don't let distance be a thing that separates you energetically, because you always have each other, right?
I wouldn't change anything.
Well, that is beautiful. You know, I didn't think about that. We're back in the studio. This is Blake Farmer. You're listening to This is Nashville, and we're in the studio with Kenzie and Kenndall, identical twins. I didn't think about how much this was going to feel like, a little pep talk for you all right here. What do you make of Ari and Liv on almost separate coasts? There was some encouragement to live your own life.
Mm-hmm.
They also seem to finish each other's sentences, just like you do. Tell us this. When you're kind of planning your own future, can you envision a future without the other by your side? Because it sounds like it's been kind of hip to hip to this point.
So I can say that, like, when I think of college, I don't really see her in my vision of college. However, when I think of life outside of college and I'm getting like my first apartment and things, I do see her as my roommate. So it's kind of opposite for me. I see two different routes. So for college, I see if we go to college, it's going to be like us sharing at the same dorm. And I see it if I go to cosmetology route, then that's going to be like us separating. But outside of college, I see like my house like down the street and like her house like a couple blocks down the street.
Either way, you're close. Well, to this point, I mean, I assume that is when you're doing everything together, same school, same activities, you essentially even have the same friends, right?
Yes.
What's that like?
We have literally the same friend groups. It's just kind of our personalities.
Yeah.
It just like draws. Yeah. And then also, I feel like eventually, like if I was to make a friend on the first day, eventually they would somehow find out about Kenndall and they'd be like, I didn't know you had a twin. I'd be like, oh yeah, I often forget I have a twin sometimes.
Forget?
Too. Yeah.
And is it forget because it's just like having any other sort of sibling, but to them, like you see Kendyll, and you don't realize like, oh, to other people, this person looks exactly like me. In fact, could be mistaken for me. You see an entirely different person.
That's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
And like to me, I see us, we look similar, but I don't think we look identical in my opinion. So like often if we're like walking the cafeteria or something, I'll feel like a lot of stares. And I'll be like, why are people staring at us? And then I'll realize, oh, they didn't realize we were twins. Or if we're like walking down a hallway and it's just us and like there's someone staring, I'm like, and then I realize they're trying to figure out, okay, is that Kendyll or is that Kenzie? Yeah.
How do you all deal with the stares? Because I assume that happens even in just public places. You go to a movie or something, people are, oh, they must be twins.
I used to really not like the stares, but I got used to it at this point.
Do you acknowledge it?
No, honestly, I kind of just avoid it. It also just like depends on where I am, but for the most part, I just got used to it. And I will acknowledge it. I'll be like, oh yeah, they're staring. That's a twin stare. Like they're staring because they just realized.
Twin stare. I like that. All right, final thought for any other young identical twins out there who are listening, and I'm sure there may be a few, who are in grade school, middle school, maybe. What advice might you give them about navigating these next few years, heading into high school and beyond?
I would say just get used to it. Like you're always going to get your name wrong constantly, so you just got to get used to people.
Or get a necklace.
Yes, or get a name tag. Just get used to your name getting called the other by mistake or on purpose for some reason. Don't take it to offense. Some people, and some people feel extremely bad. And I'm like, it's okay, I'm used to it. But they just feel extremely bad when they get, our names wrong.
Well, Kenzie, is that what you were going to say? Y'all did start to talk at the same time.
I was going to say I would recommend doing a sport together.
Together, though?
Yeah. I just feel like there's a way you can push each other in your sport and everything, or just like a club in general. Yeah. Because like speaking of like high school, sports and clubs make that fun, but if you do it together, it'll make it even more fun. So.
Well, thank you both so much for being here. Kendyll and Kenzie, identical twin high schoolers heading into their senior year here in Middle Tennessee. We have to take one more quick break. When we return, we'll zoom out just a bit to consider those who are closest to identical twins. In fact, they're the people closest to the twins we've heard from. Kendyll and Kenzie's mom, Liv's wife. We'll get at what it's like to live with and love identical twins. So stay with us.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Music City Prep Clinic, Nashville-based provider for PrEP and offering comprehensive sexual health services in an environment designed to be safe, professional, and shame-free. Learn more at musiccityprep.org.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. Today we are talking about what it's like to be and to love identical twins here in Middle Tennessee. And we've been streaming video from the studio on WPLN's YouTube channel. So if you'd like to watch, you're welcome to go over there. Although the twins have left the studio, so we're down to the program, part of the program where we're talking to those who are closest to the twins in their lives. Joining me now is Jada, mom of Kenzie and Kendyll, who were lovely in the last segment, who we just spoke with, and Courtney Oertel, the wife of our board operator, Liv Lombardi, who has an identical twin in Portland. So we also heard from them in the last segment. Lives in Portland. Jada and Courtney, welcome to you both here. This is Nashville.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about how you both met your twins, which obviously happened in very different ways. So Jada, Kendyll and Kenzie, they do have an older sister who we talked about briefly. So you were a mom before Kendyll and Kenzie coming along, but how did you find out that you were going to be a mom to two more?
Funny story. So I went in for my ultrasound.
Okay.
And prior to the ultrasound, their paternal grandmother is a twin. And she was saying, oh, it would be so good
if you were
having
identical twin?
She's a fraternal twin.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. It's their paternal grandmother.
Okay.
And so she said it would be great if I was having twins. And I said, I'm not having twins. So I went to my ultrasound. And when I was looking at the image, I saw 2 babies, but it still didn't register that they were twins. So I said, well, it's been a while since I've had an ultrasound. Are you guys doing split screens? Like, is that the front of the baby and the back of the baby? She said, oh, no, that's 2 of them. You got to be kidding me.
Oh, my. And now, at the time, do you know that they're going to be identical? Can they tell right then that it's like, this is identical twins?
At that time, they didn't say anything.
Really? Mm-hmm. So you just knew that you had 2 coming, and you braced for what was next. So what did Father think?
Oh, he was excited. I told him, I said, you're not being realistic. So we took a trip to Babies R Us.
Okay. And
I took him down every aisle, pointed out everything we needed, and told him we needed 2 of those.
Wait, that's how you told him?
Oh,
or he was there in the...
he was excited to find out it was twins. I was like, this is expensive. Like, you don't realize how much 2 babies are going to be, because these were his first children. So he didn't know, like, the expense of even having 1 child, let alone 2 at the same time.
Okay. So that was your way to drive this home. Like, no, do you understand? Well, do you need 2 cribs? I was about to say 2 cribs. Does one need 2 cribs with 2 twins?
Depending on the size. So initially, no, we didn't have.
Right.
We started off with 1, and then you could move on to 2, or, depending on how big your children were. So they were still small enough to fit in 1. We did have like 2 bassinets, and, just kind of altered, when they got
2 car seats or more than that.
2 toddler beds, like, just move on.
Well, Courtney, when you met Liv, who's a twin, in person for the first time, did you know Liv had a twin?
No.
How did you find out?
Just through conversation, about a month.
It's going to come up, I guess.
It came up, but I also didn't meet Ari for almost 2 years of knowing Liv, because they were living so far away.
Right. Well, what was it like to meet the twin who you knew existed, and this person that is like Liv, like no one else?
I will never forget it.
Yeah.
We were picking Ari up from the airport. And, I've been on the phone with them, photographs, I know. But nothing will prepare you for looking at your person's face on another person. And of course, they're so different. They're different people, but there's no way to really describe the feeling.
Right. It's not even like meeting, I'm meeting my wife's sister. It's like, well, yeah, they look alike and have some mannerisms that are the same. Not the same as an identical twin.
No. But what really got me that first meeting was sitting down, having a chat. We're having lunch. And Liv and I have had so much time where we have that sort of unspoken language 2 people in a relationship have. Mm. And I said something to Liv, and Ari answered.
Oh.
In this sort of, I know more than just someone sitting across from me. It was unnerving at first, and I just sat back and went, "Oh, okay."
Well, right.
I need
they
to
have
understand
a bond that you will not have with your person.
No, it's very different.
Yeah. Well, Liv was saying that they talk like every day. On the, which, I mean, I guess there are many siblings who talk that often, who are grown, live on separate sides of the country. But it sounds like, what did you notice first about that bond once you saw it in person?
How important it is. I understood how important it was, but having them in the same physical space, I started to really understand the things that just didn't feel right in Liv when Ari wasn't there. Mm. So, I encourage as much time together as possible that they can have.
Yeah, I could imagine the separation, is more than just missing a sibling. It's like part of you is not with you, not incompleteness or something.
It's like their own gravity.
Mm. If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville. I'm your host, Blake Farmer. We're talking twins today. We're wrapping up the hour, not talking to twins, but talking about folks who love twins. Jada, as the mother of twins, I wonder, has there been anything that you needed to do as a parent to help in the connection that this special bond that Courtney's talking about between Ari and Liv? Is there anything that you had to do to sort of step in and make that happen, or have you had difficulty understanding it at times?
No, it was, I want to say it was kind of instant, but for their first few months of life, they wouldn't even look at each other. And so we would try to put them, face to face, and they would just turn their heads. They never looked at each other until they went to the doctor to get shots. And they were both laying there, and they grabbed each other's hands and looked at each other. And it was just like from then on, they just recognized each other. But prior to that, they did not. And they've just had a bond ever since. So
are you saying because you it's like you wanted to have this moment where they smile at each other, like, look, they're twins, they love each other, and they just wouldn't do it?
They would not look at each other. Until you
jab them with a needle.
Yeah, and they're like, I guess they felt the pain. But from then on, that solidified their bond.
Wow. Well, I'm interested, Courtney, with the bond that you're talking about. Is there how have you approached that other than trying to make sure Liv and Ari have that time together? Do you feel like the third wheel or something? You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Liv and I had to do a lot of work, especially in the beginning, because Liv was sort of doing this, Ari is the most important.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to redefine as is the most important, and there's another important. There has to be room.
Yeah.
And I wasn't pressing myself in that. I was asking the questions, what if we have children? Right? Because now we're having layers of what's more important, and that's an impossible thing to put on yourself of, because what would you do if you had children?
Yeah.
If you're weighing it. And I think that made a big difference once it was our relationship is important, and it's our relationship, and your twinship is sacred and important, and that's its own too. There doesn't have to be a weight between what is.
Right. That one is more important than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, have you seen benefits to being married to a twin? I mean, it's obviously unique. Does it benefit you in any way?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, I wonder about being the mother of twins. Being the mother, are there benefits to it? Obviously, there's struggle. There was the Babies R Us visit.
No, I really don't think. I don't think it's a benefit other than the attention. We do get a lot of attention.
How do you handle the attention? Because obviously they bear the brunt of it, I would think, or they do now. Maybe you did at first, right?
Yeah, just the same questions. Are they twins? How is it carrying twins? How do you tell them apart? Like the same questions they get are the same questions that I receive also.
When did they start answering for themselves?
Ooh, they've always been a little feisty.
Mm-hmm.
So
I sense that.
So as soon as they can talk, if you call, like if you're talking to Kenzie and you call her Kyndall, she'll say Kenzie, and it'll be the other way around. And it's just instantaneous. So just do it. And I didn't have to do it.
Yeah. Well, as far as navigating, it just works out because there is that bond that is almost beyond words between them. But it just seems the growing up as teenagers doing things. I mean, even the anecdote they talked about with the play they were in, they both wanted the same part and they figured out some way to share it. I'm guessing there are scenarios like that don't always work out beautifully. But how have you, navigated them kind of being so similar, wanting to do the same things? How have you navigated that?
So I have encouraged them to be individuals. So there are some things like Kenzie, she played in the band. Kenzie didn't play in the band. So Kenzie may have been interested in cheerleading at one point and Kenzie wasn't. So there are still little things that one may be interested in doing and they'll pursue it, whereas the other one that's not interested, they'll just show up for support.
And are you saying you almost encourage, I don't want to say discourage, but encourage them to have their own thing, rather than making them feel like, well, if Kenzie does band, then you need to do band.
Yeah, for
also.
sure. Because, even though they're together all the time, they have similarities, there are still certain things that they may not enjoy. And so I do want them to do what they enjoy to do. And the other one, like I said, is just show up for support because like Kenzie, I don't know why, she just was not interested in band. I was in the band. My oldest daughter was in the band and Kyndall. But Kenzie was like, no.
Well, they need their own things.
Yes.
A couple final thoughts here. Courtney, anyone out there who might find themselves dating a twin, what would you tell them?
There was one Christmas where Liv's grandma stood next to me while they were putting up their ornaments. And she said, "You're not jealous, are you?" I said, "No." And I learned that that had been an issue in the past. And I think that what we just talked about, that idea of what's more important, they go through that. And I think if someone's marrying a twin, if you can fast forward through that piece, it'll be better. You know, there is no replacing that space for a twin. You need to make room for both of you.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, and for those who are expecting twins, you know, we'll recommend the organization Music City Multiples here. But Courtney, Jada, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Jada is the mom of identical twins, Kyndall and Kenzie, who we spoke with earlier. Courtney Oertel, the wife of Liz Lombardi, our board operator here on This Is Nashville. We'll have links to Music City Multiples on the show post for today. Thanks for tuning in this hour. This is a production of Nashville Public Radio. Today's episode was produced by Liv Lombardi and Catherine Rappelt. It was directed by Tasha A.F. Limley. Liv Lombardi is our board operator. The masterminds behind that theme music you hear are LaRange and Namir Blade. Our show's also a podcast. You can ask your smart speaker to play the latest episode of This Is Nashville or just use your podcasting app. This is Nashville. I'm Blake Farmer. Go in peace.